Hi students, in the last video we just introduced regarding X-rays. Okay, in that we just discussed what are the X-rays and what is the range of wavelengths we can consider in electromagnetic waves as X-rays, and who invented, how they can be produced, and how the wavelengths which are observed to be get in that X-rays or the frequencies in the X-rays, that is based on, you can be observed that stopping potential or the applied accelerating potential, right? And how that the X-rays are origin, what is the basic cause to get these emitted radiations from the target material. So that also we discuss, that is what are X-rays, definition and their wavelength ranges, and origin of X-rays, production of X-rays, that is College X-ray tube. So all these we covered in the last video. Now in this we can discuss further regarding the X-ray spectrum, that is study about the X-rays with related to their frequencies or wavelengths, how we can be get which type of spectrum you can be observed. So based on that frequencies or wavelengths, we can be study about these X-rays, that is nothing but the X-ray spectrum, which is observed by using that Bragg's spectrometer in modern equipment used in modern physics in laboratory, that is called Bragg's spectrometer. By using that, the wavelengths which are emitted during these getting the X-rays are studied, that is nothing but X-ray spectrum. So in this there are two types of X-ray spectrums are there, based on that energy emitted or the wavelength we are getting in that X-ray pattern. So there we can be having the two types of study about the X-ray spectrum. So now we have here it is a X-ray spectrum, and this X-ray spectrum is two types. So X-ray spectrum, okay, which is studied by using Bragg's spectrometer. So in this Bragg's spectrometer, by using that we can study about these X-rays, and these X-rays are studied in two ways. They are, you can be having here, one is a continuous X-ray spectrum, and another one is you have, that is a characteristic X-ray spectrum. So these are the two types of X-ray spectrums we have. They are, one is continuous X-ray spectrum, another one is characteristic X-ray spectrum. So in this, the first one we are going to discuss. So what is this continuous X-ray spectrum? Okay, that is here. With related to this, the first one we are going to discuss, that is a continuous X-ray spectrum. So in this, the name itself we can be having here continuous. That means when you draw the, or when you observe the radiations emitted, or the radiations or the energies or the wavelengths which are present in that X-rays are continue. The graph when you draw intensity with respect to the wavelength at different applied exerting potentials, there you can be get observation. Here it is a continuous spectrum you can be obtained. So that is here, this continuous X-ray spectrum can be studied by drawing a graph between intensity of X-rays versus the wavelength we can be observed here. Here we are taking the wavelength, and here we are taking the intensity along the y-axis. Along the x-axis we are taking the wavelength, and the graph is observed to be having, here it is coming from longer wavelengths, and it is observed to be having, it will be at a particular wavelength you can be having the maximum intensity, and there is a particular wavelength below which there is no X-rays are present for given exerting potential V1. At a given exerting potential we are getting this intensity is maximum at a particular wavelength, and it is sharply after this maximum intensity, and sharply it will be, the intensity becomes zero at a particular wavelength where you can be having there is no intensity of X-rays. That means
Below this wavelength there is no X-rays with this accelerating potential. So this is what it is called as the lambda minimum. That is we can be observed. That is when the accelerating potential increases, the wavelength of minimum will be decreases. That is down, and Hunt law is given in the last video we discussed, right? So that is what you can be observed. If the further it is accelerating potential is increases, there you can be observed here the curve will be comes like this. So here this maximum intensity will be increases by increasing the operating potential or accelerating potential, but you can be observed here the wavelength minimum will be decreases. Right, this is observed in terms of, or we can be observed here Dwan and Hunt law. So by using this one we can be observed or we can be seen these two are inversely proportional. Okay, that is you have here this wavelength is equal to where it is 12,400 upon, you can be having this one, that is operating potential, this is in instruments. So here this minimum is proportional to, here it is 1 upon V naught. So this is already we seen in the last class, that is a Dwan and Hunt law. So accordingly that when you are increasing the potential, the minimum, the lambda minimum value, that is the wavelength present in that X-rays below which does not exist, this wavelength is called as a cutoff wavelength. So the cutoff wavelength is nothing but the minimum wavelength present in the X-rays below which that there is no X-rays exist. So that you can be observed, and it is this is minimum wavelength for this accelerating potential, and in that you can be see this curve is a continuous curve. So up to this you can be having there is no gap at all. So this is what it is called as a continuous X-ray spectrum, right? So here this intensity or this wavelength is related to which one? Operating potential or accelerating potential. So accelerating potential is increases, the lambda minimum value or cutoff wavelength will be decreases in that particular X-ray spectrum, right? So this is what you can be observed here, this continuous X-ray spectrum. Now you see this, when you are increasing the accelerating potential, intensity of X-rays also increasing. See here, when this is increasing the potential, these are intensity of continuous or this X-rays also increases, but the cutoff wavelength is decreases. Where you can be observed to be having here, with the increasing the accelerating potential or operating potential, there is a decrease in the cutoff wavelength in that particular X-rays, right? So now in this way we can be having this continuous X-ray spectrum, right? And now here this equation is valid in this graph, okay, right? So in this you can be observed to be having the intensity is increases by increasing the potential, that is accelerating potential. And here you see this, the intensity maximum for respective operating potentials at a particular wavelength you are getting this intensity is maximum. Here let it be, this is for lambda 1 for V1, and here also increases for one more, that is when you are increasing the accelerating potential, intensity increases, but this maximum intensity you are getting at lower wavelengths. You can be see this a shift in the wavelength towards the left side, that means it is a decreasing order. That means towards the lower wavelengths the maximum intensity of the X-rays will be towards the left side, that is left side it will be shifted. That means it is decreasing the wavelengths. For lower wavelengths only you can be get a, which one? It is maximum intensity when you are increasing the potentials, right? So that is what you can be observed, it is called as a continuous X-ray spectrum. So the continuous X-ray spectrum will be gives you the graph is a continuous when you draw between the wavelength and intensity of X-rays, and it is this cutoff wavelength is inversely proportional to the operating potential that is observed in this equation, that is Dwan and Hunt law, right? So this is one of the spectrum, that is continuous X-ray spectrum of X-rays, right? And there is one more is there in this characteristic X-ray spectrum. So characteristic X-ray spectrum is, already we seen this continuous X-ray spectrum. Continuous X-ray spectrum is related to this Dwan and Hunt law, and we studied how that intensity varies by increasing the this operating potential. At what operating potential you can be having this intensity increases but shifting towards a lower wavelengths, right? So that we are observed or we discussed from this continuous X-ray spectrum. If you are coming to the second one, that is characteristic X-ray spectrum, which is somewhat important, that is what you can be observed and what is this. So here it is a characteristic. So otherwise I will start from here, it will be somewhat required more space. So for that I just remove this part. And now you have the second one, that is a characteristic X-ray spectrum. So that is the second X-ray spectrum. We have here characteristic X-ray spectrum. So in this, what is the characteristic X-ray spectrum and how it is different with respect to this continuous X-ray spectrum. So in case of this characteristic X-ray spectrum, it is a line spectrum including with that continuous spectrum. So this characteristic X-ray spectrum is a special property. It is depends upon the characteristic property of the target material. If you are changing the target material, this line spectrum of this continuous characteristic X-ray spectrum also changes. So that is if you observed, this continuous X-ray spectrum is a line spectrum which can be obtained when this line spectrum or continuous characteristic X-ray spectrum can be obtained when if you are having the electron enough kinetic energy by which it is knocking out an electron in that atom of target material. So this is related with this nucleus. Around this we have these electrons are revolving in different orbits. So here electrons are there. So now you can be having this when the electron is entered with the high kinetic energy, this is electron accelerating electron, and which is coming and hitting one of the electron. This kinetic energy is enough to make this electron to be knocked out from that particular orbit. Then this will be coming out here. There is a vacancy or deficiency of electron you can be observed here, and this is the given electron. So here when this accelerating electron is made knocked out an electron, so that this kinetic energy is enough to make out that electron to be knocked out from this one of the orbit of that electron or of that given target atom. So once this electron is made knocked out, here vacancy is there. So this vacancy is immediately filled by the another electron which is there in higher orbits. So that is, you can be observed, an electron is present in the higher level or higher energy state. That electron is ready to occupy this vacancy. This vacancy is occupied by this electron, and here their higher energy to lower energy when it is transmitted, so that electron can be radiated energy, right? So that radiated energy is it is line spectrum you can be get, and already it is this how much loss of kinetic energy, that is the deceleration of this electron when it is enter into the target material. That deceleration means decrease in the kinetic energy. The decrease in the kinetic energy makes that emission of radiation which will be called as a continuous X-ray spectrum, already we discussed. So now with respect to this transition of electron, where it will be occupied that vacancy, where it is created by this knocking out of electron. So here this extra energy is radiated. This energy is radiated and it is mixed with the continuous. So that means the total energy you can be observed that radiation in that X-rays, it is a combination of line spectrum and continuous spectrum. The combinedly you can be called it is a characteristic X-ray spectrum. So this line spectrum is we are getting because of the transition of electron from higher energy to lower energy, where that electron made knocked out because of this energy of electron is enough to make that remove of that electron from the particular shell or particular orbit, right? So this combination of line spectrum and continuous spectrum combinedly we can call it as a characteristic X-ray spectrum, right? So this one how you can be drawn. So here when you draw the graph between, here it is intensity along the y-axis we are taking, and along the x-axis we are taking the wavelength. Now you can draw this graph for this one, that is you can be observed to be having here it is for a given potential like this you can be draw. Okay, that is here it is a lambda minimum you can be observed, that is a cutoff wavelength. So cutoff wavelength is there, or it is below which there is no X-rays are produced, and this is the operated, or we can be get it given operating potential, right? And now you can be having here in this at a particular wavelength you will be having there are certain peaks are observed because of this line spectrum. So this is you can be observed is L alpha or L beta, or here you can be observed one more with respect to the another transition where you can be observed this is a K alpha and this is K beta. So these are transitions we can be observed. Depends upon the electron made transition from here into the K shell, you can get this K alpha, K beta, or with respect to L shell it is made transition, there you can get this L alpha, L beta. So these are spikes where you can be observed to get these are line spectrum in that X-rays line spectrum we have, and this line spectrum is combined with this continuous spectrum, so that combination of these two or this type of graph we can be observed for this characteristic X-ray spectrum. In this characteristic X-ray spectrum we have these spikes are getting here. These spikes are getting because of these energy radiated during the transition of electron, right? So now you can be observed this explanation whenever we have here the energies level diagram. If you see where to where that electron made transition takes place during this X-ray spectrum. See this here, let it be this is a K, L, M, N, like this you can be having. If that electron is made transition from here to here, so this is called K alpha line. So if it is emitted from here to here, or transition is made from this next line, that is you can be observed this is a K beta. Similarly it is K gamma, like this you can be having the names for this respective transition of electrons. So K alpha, K beta, K gamma lines. So these are having here when it is observed to be having this is a let it be 20,000 electron volts, it is minus. So this is a 2000 electron volts, this is 200, 22, if it is goes on it is 0. So now when the electron made transition takes place like this, if that electron or vacancy is created in this K shell, then this is a filled in any one of the possibilities we can be having here. So based on the transitions you can be observed here, if this is a made transition it is called as a K alpha line, K beta line and K gamma line, like that you can be having. If it is made transition like this is a L alpha line and this one is a L beta line. So like that you can be observed this is a transition. This is M alpha line. So this one is you can be observed the L beta line. So depends upon that values or the transitions where to where that electron made filling, where the vacancy is created, accordingly you can be having these lines. And in this which transition you can be having that energy difference is more. If you observe the energy difference here compared to this energy difference is more. That means when you are moving higher order, that means the energy difference is more. So in this transition is energy is more compared to this one. From this one to this, the energy transition is here, it is less. So when you are moving higher order, the energy difference is more, so more radiation is emitted, right? So that is what you can be observed here. It is the transition of electrons are made. Because of this transition, you are getting these peaks here. So because of that, I written here it is L alpha, L beta, where you can be having this one is a low energy, so wavelength is more, so that I drawn it is right side compared to the beta, gamma, all those, right? So alpha lines will be always, it will be towards higher wavelengths because they are having the lower energies. So energy is less, frequency is less, wavelength is high. Because of that, alpha, beta, gammas, they are increasing order of energies, because of that decreasing order of wavelengths you can be observed. So that therefore that spikes you can be drawn in this graph will be given as alpha line first, that is higher wavelengths, and towards wavelengths, lower wavelengths, that beta, gamma, that spikes can be drawn for respective series, right? So this is for K series, L series, M series. So where it will be, the transition is getting into which orbit, which shell. Based on that it will be called as a K series, L series, M series, right? So this is the observation you can be seen in this characteristic X-ray spectrum. And in this, if you observe, there is an important point, that is when you are increasing the potential, this lambda minimum value increases, decreases, inversely proportional according to Down and Hunt law. When you are increases this operating potential, this lambda minimum value will be decreases. But what about these peaks? they will be remains constant. That means the wavelength of characteristic X-ray spectrum is independent of accelerating potential. But whereas the lambda minimum cutoff wavelength will be decreases. So that is what you can be observed here. The important points. So first one, if V operating potential increases, which implies that lambda minimum value will be decreases. And what about this characteristic wavelength of the characteristic X-rays remains constant. So and here you can be observed wavelength for characteristic X-rays remains constant. Wavelength of characteristic X-rays remains same. It will not be altered. So that is what you can be observed here. This one. So if you are increases this V1, one more is there. If you are increases this one, you can be get the curve will be where you have this one is a peak. It will become as it is. It is come as it is. The peaks will be, but this will become here decreasing. So this wavelength, this will be same. This will be same. This will be. That means characteristics X-rays wavelength will not be altered by changing these operating potential or accelerating voltage, right? But which one is changes? The wavelength, cutoff wavelength in that X-rays will be decreases. That is when you are increasing the potential. Here V2 and this one is lambda minimum dash let it be. So this will be decreases, but the characteristic wavelengths will be remains same for respect to L alpha, L beta, K alpha, K beta. Their respective wavelengths will be remain same when you are increases or decreases the operating potential. But that is varies only this cutoff wavelength in that X-ray spectrum. Right? This is one point. And next one more you can be having here. Here, when the mass number of the target material, that means here this characteristic X-ray spectrum is depends upon the nature of the target material. So nature of the target material varies, that is mass number is changes. Accordingly, you can be observed here these spikes, that is the line spectrum where you are getting which wavelengths, that will be shifted to when you are increases the mass number. Let it be, this is one of the graph we seen. If you go for the one more graph, that we can be observed, this is a here A is constant, mass number is we are maintaining constant. That means the target material is same, but we are changing the accelerating potential. There you can be observed this graph. In next case, I will change this one. That is here operating potential I will maintain same, but mass numbers I will change. There what you can be observed in that graph. So here I will go for the second graph. That is where we can be having, there is a target material, nature of the target material is changing, but operating potential remains constant. So how that graph can be observed? See here. Again the graph is we are drawing between it is the wavelength versus intensity of X-rays. So that is here the curve is, again you can be get here, this is a let it be, this is for mass number A1, this is a lambda minimum, right? Again I am increasing the this A1 to A2, that is mass number is increases. There you can be get here the curve will be come as okay, like this you can be having, this is a L alpha, L beta, this is a K alpha, K beta, this is a again L alpha, L beta, this is K alpha, K beta, and here lambda minimum value will be remains constant as we are not changing the potential. Potential is maintained constant. We are changing the nature of the material, that is a mass number we are varying. Where we are increasing the mass number A2 greater than A1, then what you can be observed in this, the characteristic X-ray spectrum, again you are getting the L alpha, L beta, K alpha, K beta also we are getting, but they are getting at lower wavelengths. There is a shift in that peaks or line spectrum in that characteristic X-ray spectrum. When you are increasing the mass number, there is a line spectrum we are getting, but that is getting at a lower wavelengths or shift towards a lower wavelengths you can be observed. But what about this minimum wavelength or cutoff wavelength in that X-rays? It remains constant as we are maintaining the operating potential is constant. V is we are maintaining constant, so that we cannot be change this cutoff wavelength in that X-ray spectrum, right? So this is another graph you can be observed, right? So here you observed that one more point, second point, when you are increases the mass number of target material, there is a characteristic X-ray spectrum we can be get it to lower wavelengths, but there is a no change or no variation of this cutoff wavelength for the X-rays, as we are maintaining potential is constant. Yeah, that is second point you can write here. So here when you are increases the mass number of target increases, that is A value increases, you can be get this characteristic X-ray spectrum will be shifted towards lower wavelengths, that is characteristic X-rays shift towards lower wavelengths, but that cutoff wavelength or that minimum wavelength in that X-rays will remains constant, as the potential is maintaining constant, and here lambda minimum is constant. So that is we are observed in this second graph, right? So now here this characteristic X-ray spectrum is it is a characteristic property of that target material, correct? So here these are the points you have to remember related to the characteristic X-ray spectrum. So what is the difference between that continuous and characteristic? So in continuous X-ray spectrum, we cannot be having these line spectrum. These spikes will not be there in the continuous spectrum. In continuous spectrum, we can be get that radiation emitted because of there is a decrease in the kinetic energy of electrons when they are getting into the target material. That decrease in the kinetic energy of exciting electrons, loss of kinetic energy is converting into radiation, and we can be get that is X-rays, and that X-rays are observed to be having the continuous. But whereas if this kinetic energy is having the enough energy to make this electron is knocked out any one of the shell, then there is a vacancy is created. That vacancy is immediately filled by the by another electron which is there in higher orbits, higher energy shells. The difference in that energies are radiated, that is also comes as in X-rays, and in that X-rays we can be having the line spectrum. So that is observed in this characteristic X-rays, right? The combination of line and continuous spectrum we can be called as a characteristic X-ray spectrum. So characteristic X-ray spectrum is depends on the nature of the target material. So if you are changing the nature, means mass number changes, there automatically the characteristic X-ray spectrum, the spikes will be shifted towards a lower wavelengths when you are increasing the mass number. But it is independent of the cutoff wavelength in that particular X-ray spectrum, right? So that is what you can be observed. And if the operating potential is varies, so there you can be observed there is no change in the wavelength of the characteristic X-ray spectrum by changing the operating potential or exciting potential, but there is decrease in the cutoff wavelength in that X-rays when you are increasing the operating potential, right? So this is a observation related to continuous X-ray spectrum and characteristic X-ray spectrum, right? And in this we can be observed here this transition of electrons made depends upon the where the vacancy is created by this highly excited or highly kinetic energy electron is made, knocked out that electron, that vacancy is filled accordingly, you can get the energy can be emitted. So based on that we can have some observations. See that here if that electron made transition from any one of the higher energy to where that vacancy is created because of this high kinetic energy electron is made, it knocked out an electron from that shell, there the vacancy is created which is filled. So based on that you can be having, there are certain observations. Here you can be see this is a K shell, let it be. So this one is L. So this one is M. N. Like this you can be having up to infinity. That is the last one you can be having it is, this is minus 20K. This is only 2K. This is minus 200. This is minus 20, minus 2 and 0. Like this you can be having these energy levels. Okay. Now here it is made a transition from here to here. This is called K alpha line. And it is made a transition here to here. This is called K beta. Next one is K gamma. Okay, like this you can be having this is K gamma. Similarly you can be having this is L alpha. This is L beta. And this one is L gamma. Similarly you can be having the M N also. Here the observation here it is the energy radiated during this every transition I am representing as a E K alpha, E K beta, E K gamma, like that you can be having here. Now I can write here the energy radiated during the transition into this K alpha line is given by E K alpha line, that is E K alpha I am representing. Similarly it is a E K beta, the energy radiated during this transition into this K beta, and also you can be having this E K gamma. Right. Now in this, which one is more energy? You can be having this one is more energy, next one is this, and least one is this. So you can be having this relation between these energies for this emission of radiation during these transitions. You can be having E K alpha is less than E K beta, E K beta is less than E K gamma. And in this, the energies are having the relation is this one. And similarly, you can be having the frequency relation. So frequency of K alpha line is less than frequency of K beta line is less than frequency of K gamma line. So frequencies are, these are in decreasing order. But what about the wavelengths? Wavelengths will be, it is inversely proportional, wavelength and frequency. So because of that, here wavelength during this K alpha line is greater than wavelength during this K beta line, and similarly it is greater than this lambda in K gamma line. So this is what you can be observe the points related to the energy or frequency or wavelengths during this transition for this characteristic X-ray spectrum. And similarly here you can be observed, see this transition where to where it will making here, this beta line if you see K beta line. So K beta line is from it is 3 to 1. So this energy here to here how much energy radiated, that I can write here the radiation energy in this 3 to 2 and also from 2 to 1. That means I can write here the transition of an electron from 3 to 1 can be written as here 3 to 2 it can be done, and also 2 to 1 it can be done. So both this combining of this radiation, how much it will be here, how much it will be here, if you are adding these two is equal to the energy during this 3 to 1. So therefore what I am writing here, E K beta, the energy radiated during this K beta line is equal to this L alpha plus K alpha. That means you can write here energy emitted during this L alpha plus energy emitted during this K alpha line. Right. So this is what you can be observed for K beta or L beta or M beta for beta line. Just you can be add alphas for the higher and lower. That energy is always it will be equal. Right. Sum of these two L alpha plus K alpha energy emitted during these transitions is equal to the energy emitted during the K beta line. Great. Similarly, you can write these frequencies. That is, you can write here frequency during the K beta is equal to, it is a sum of frequency during this L alpha plus frequency during this K alpha. So what about the wavelengths? So the wavelengths can be written as here 1 upon lambda K beta is equal to 1 upon lambda L alpha plus 1 upon lambda it is K alpha. So this is a relation for the wavelengths frequencies during these transitions made in the characteristic X-ray spectrum. Right? So during the characteristic X-ray spectrum, you can be observe this equation part, right? And here in this equation, you can be see here there is no change in the wavelength. Cutoff wavelength of the X-rays will not be changed by change in the mass number of the target material, right? And wherever you are changing this, suppose mass number is constant, exerting potential is increases. What about this lambda minimum? It will be decreases according to Don and Hunt law. So when this lambda minimum is decreases, but what about these wavelengths of the characteristic X-ray spectrum remains constant. So if you are calculated, suppose any one of these characteristic X-ray spectrum, let it be here you can be having this lambda C, characteristic X-ray spectrum wavelength for K alpha line. That will remains constant by changing the exerting potential, but this will be decreases. So lambda minimum is there here. By increasing the potential, this lambda minimum will be decreases for the lambda minimum dash, let it be. So what about the difference between the characteristics to this lambda minimum value? That difference will be increases, right? The difference between the characteristic spectrum and cutoff wavelength for a characteristic X-ray spectrum will be increases by increasing operating potential or exerting potential. So that is here we can be having there is observation. If this graph is I will draw for exerting potential is changes, Then what are the observations can be see? One more observation, that is so here you have, this is a graph between wavelength and here it is intensity. So you can be get this one is for a given operating potential V1. So you can be having this curve will be okay, observe like this, let it be, I'm drawing like this only. This is the lambda minimum. So let it be, this is a for, this is K alpha, this is K beta. I am not representing that L L alpha, L beta, only K I represented. This is here the wavelength, this wavelength is lambda C. So here to here the difference is, you can write it delta lambda, or I can write here delta lambda is equal to, it is a lambda C minus lambda minimum. Right? Now you can be increase this potential. So accelerated potential is increases. There you can be observed to be having the peaks will be as it is, but you can be observed this lambda minimum value will be decreases. Let it be, I am representing lambda minimum dash. Now you see what is the difference between these two again. That is characteristic wavelength with respect to the cutoff wavelength by increasing the potential, that is V1 to V2, where you have this V2 is greater than V1. Then what is the difference this one? It will be increases, right? So now I can write here delta lambda dash is equal to, it is lambda C minus lambda minimum dash. So this value is greater, that means here it is a delta lambda dash is greater than delta lambda. That means here the difference is increases by increasing the operating potential or accelerating potential, right? So there is no change in the wavelength of characteristic X-ray spectrum by changing the operating potential. Here we are taking that A is constant, that is the mass number of target material is constant. There is no change in the wavelength of characteristic X-ray spectrum, but there is a decrease in the cutoff wavelength of the X-rays by increasing the operating potential. There you can be observed the difference between the wavelength of characteristic X-rays with respect to this lambda minimum or cutoff wavelength will be increases. So the difference is increases when you are increasing the operating potential, right? Suppose if you made this potential is a double, what about this difference? The difference is also more than double you can get. So that is here, if it is a increases, V1 is here as a V and this V2 as a double, it is a 2V. Then what about this lambda minimum dash? This lambda minimum dash will become, it is lambda by 2, because here it is inversely proportional, right? So when your accelerating potential is made double, then automatically the wavelength will be reduced to half. Therefore you can be observed here, what about this wavelength difference you can calculate here. Now I can write this value, the differences I can write here, the new difference is become as here. So delta lambda dash is equal to lambda C, it will be remain same lambda C minus, this is a lambda minimum dash, it is become as here lambda by 2. It is lambda by 2. So this is what you can be get. Okay, that is this lambda minimum dash is lambda by 2. So lambda C is there. So that is what you can be observed, this difference. This is the difference between these two, right? Now you can be observed this potential is made double. Potential is made double. Then this lambda minimum dash will be reduced to half. Then what is the difference? Difference is become like this, you can be having, right? So this is this value is you can be observed, that is a double. What about this difference will become? Difference will become, you see this delta lambda dash is equal to 2 lambda C minus lambda by 2. So this I can write as here lambda C plus lambda C minus lambda upon 2. So this equation, if you see this lambda C minus lambda minimum, lambda C minus lambda minimum is initially you can be observed, this is a, you can be write this is a lambda minimum, here it is, this is a lambda minimum, this is a lambda minimum. So now here lambda C minus lambda minimum is delta lambda. So I can add this one, it is a lambda C plus delta lambda upon 2. This is a new difference in the wavelengths when the operating potential is made double. You can be observed here, this will be reduced or it is increases more than half of its wavelength initially how much it is there. See here, the change in the wavelength is here it is delta lambda dash is equal to, it is lambda C by 2 plus delta lambda by 2. See here that new difference is delta lambda by 2. Initial difference is delta lambda. So it is half of that. But apart of that, it is having lambda c by 2 also. That means here delta lambda dash is greater than how much it is? It is having not just it is half of the initial. It is having the greater than this delta lambda by 2. So this is what you can be observed. So don't make it is half. It is more than half it will be having. That is observed in this case of the change in the wavelength between the characteristic X-ray spectrum and the cutoff wavelength when the operating potential is varied. So that we can be observed here it is. Right. So in this way we can be having the explanation about this characteristic X-ray spectrum. Right. So from this, these X-ray spectrums are closed. One is continuous X-ray spectrum, another one is characteristic X-ray spectrum. This characteristic X-ray spectrum is very, very important. Right. So regarding this X-rays, we can conclude it. Okay, signing off.